What's up everyone, hopefully you're having a wonderful holiday season, and today I want to talk to you about a little video that dropped on December 17th from PlayStation's YouTube channel called the DUALSHOCK 4 back button attachment. As of the making of this video, that one is sitting at 3.5 million views with 102,000 likes and 6.5 thousand dislikes. So I think it's safe to say that feedback has been nothing short of positive. Now I wanted to talk about this a little sooner, but your boy's been busy and I haven't had the opportunity to until now. And I basically want to talk about what I think this means for DUALSHOCK 5 or the next generation of PlayStation controllers. Now, going back a few years, I was one of the early adopters of the Steam controller, and while the trackpads were something, you got used to them over time, the one thing that really struck a chord with me were those back two paddles. The fact that I can allocate 2 of the 4 face buttons to those paddles and basically never have to lift my fingers off of those trackpads, which was great for first-person shooters. It gave me the ability to quickly react faster than I would have been able to having to pull my thumb off of a trackpad and then press a button on the face of the controller. Fast forward a few years later, after Microsoft releases the Xbox One Elite Series controllers, where they had 4 back paddles, I immediately fell in love with that concept because that meant I could allocate not 2, but 4 of the face buttons, all 4 of those buttons to the back paddles, and never, ever have to take my thumb off of my right analog stick ever again. My thumbs were on the sticks, my fingers were on the back paddles, and my 2 index fingers were on my bumpers or triggers. I love it. To this day, I use an Xbox One Elite controller, the white version, to play all of my PC games. It's gotten to a point to where it's weird whenever I accidentally press or I have to press a face button on that controller, because I'll play everything from platformers to shooters to Minecraft using the back paddles. I very seldomly ever use the face buttons. So as I said, it's pretty strange, especially when I have to go back to playing PlayStation games, because that is my main platform of choice, at least in terms of consoles. It's weird having to go back to the quote-unquote old school way of having to press the face buttons and take my fingers off the stick to do that. So with the release, or the impending release of this back button attachment, it's exciting that Sony's finally sort of competing with the Elite Series controllers as well as the SCUF controllers, but at a much lower price point. With the price of a DualShock being $65 US plus, I believe it's $29.99 for that thing. We're looking at $95, assuming you can't get the DualShocks cheaper, versus, I believe, the $179.99 for an Elite controller, and the, between $150 to $200 that it costs for SCUF controllers. So it's a cheaper alternative to play PlayStation games using first-party accessories, which is another major point I want to address. I personally do not buy third-party accessories for anything. None of my consoles have ever had third-party accessories since the PlayStation 2 era. I learned the hard way after going through Pelican, Mad Catz, and God knows whatever third-party accessories they were making at the time, breaking all of them within a couple months just because, I dared to use them. I just learned, and it's been stuck with me for many years, to just stick with first-party controllers, accessories, and hardware. And I get the feeling that since feedback has been very positive on this, that I think Sony's going to sort of experiment with the premium or pro controller market with the next generation of PlayStation. I don't believe that DualShock 5 will have these pro features built in. Maybe they'll have some cheap paddles installed, sort of like the Steam controller did, as the baseline model, but then we'll say like a pro controller will come out that'll have a more premium feel with maybe 4 paddles on the back instead of 2. I mean, it seems just so strange that Sony waited so long to release something like this, and they're doing it so close to the end of the PS4's life cycle, to the point to where the next generation of Xbox has been announced, and we're just waiting to see what Sony shows us for PlayStation 5. So I can't help but think that this is sort of testing the waters for what Sony may have planned for the next generation of DualShock or PlayStation controllers, which, since they're naming the next gen system PlayStation 5, I can only assume is going to be called DualShock 5. So, with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section. If you'd like for me to review the back paddle attachment or back button attachment for DualShock 4, let me know. I'm probably going to own it day one anyway, so if you'd like to see a review, I might as well review it, right? And on top of that, make sure you enjoy the holiday seasons and stay safe out there. And as always, I will see you in the next video, but most importantly, take care. Hi, If you've made it to this point in the video, please rate it however you see fit, and if you enjoyed the content, feel free to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell in the hopes that YouTube will actually notify you when I upload content. If you'd like, feel free to join me and my subscribers on my Discord channel where we talk about anything related to gaming. Hopefully, I'll see you there.